Hey guys, Graham here from therecordingrevolution.com with our second to last 5 minutes to a better mix. We've been looking at 31 mixing tips in 31 days straight. And today, as we're wrapping up this series almost, I want to talk to you about a really helpful mixing tip that will save your butt and ensure that you have the most control over your mix. And this is in regards to the feedback portion of the mixing. So you've mixed, you've created a reference mix that you've bounced out of your DAW. People are listening to it, whether in the band or your client or what have you, and then you're getting some feedback. You're getting some notes. Hey, mix sounds great, but can we do the drums a little louder in the choruses? The vocals are, a little harsh on whatever. Maybe some EQ adjustments. You're getting these specific notes. What you need to do, obviously, is come back to your mix, open it back up in your DAW, and make the changes that their clients are suggesting, and maybe even the changes that you obviously want to implement after you've had some time away from it and are listening to it in a different environment. The problem is you want to make sure that you don't destroy what you had originally, because you may actually want to come back to the way your mix was. Not all feedback is permanent and people can change their minds. Let me give you an example. Say you've got this mix here. I've got the song King of Glory, and my DAW session name is King of Glory Mix. This is the only session I've been mixing on. If I get feedback from the artist that says, hey, I think the vocals are, too hot in all the choruses, can you turn them down, and can you adjust the bass guitar in this thing? If I make those changes and I save it and then I bounce another mix out for him and I say, hey, okay, here's mix 2, take a listen. He goes, you know what? I think I liked it the way it was, but I want to do some different changes. Well, then we can't just go back. If we've made those saves, we'll have to go find what we did in the DAW, whether that was an automation change or an EQ change, and hope that we remember what it was set at before. And you can see how this can become a mess of, oh, well, I liked it the way it was. You don't have that saved. You don't want to get into that situation. So here's what you're going to do from now on. When you're done with the mix and you bounce it out, and you get it referenced, and you're coming back to make tweaks, when you open it back up, let's say I'm going to make some adjustments to this song here. I'm not actually going to make the adjustments to this session, not at all. Instead, I'm going to do a save session as. This is applicable in any DAW, especially in Pro Tools. You don't want to work on your actual original mix session because you want to be able to recall that mix the way it was perfectly. So before I do any changes, I'm going to come up to the File menu, choose Save As. And what I typically do here is, if I'm in this session in Pro Tools, so the main folder is called King of Glory. This is where my audio files live. This is where my plugin settings live. But you can see these sessions here, King of Glory Edit. That's the session I edited on. And then the mixing session, this is where it's asking me to save it. I want to call this King of Glory Mix 2. Okay? So it's going to be an entirely different session. Click Save. You can see my name changed up here, King of Glory Mix 2. And if I pull up where the actual session lives on my hard drive, let's see, let me navigate to it. King of Glory. There I see 4 different Pro Tools sessions. So if you're using any other DAW, you want different files. So if it's, a Logic file, you want multiple Logic sessions here. They're all pulling from the same audio files in that folder, all the same plugin settings, but now I can mix to my heart's content on Mix 2, and I can tweak the settings, and I can get an entirely different updated mix for him, bounce it out, see if he likes that better. But if at the end of the day he wants me to come back to Mix 1, I can fire that mix up in my DAW, and it's completely the way it was originally, and we haven't lost a thing. So that's the way you want to work. And again, if you come back and they make more tweaks, go ahead and do a third mix session. It doesn't take up any space because this isn't the actual audio every time you save it. You're just saving a session file, and that's just a little map to tell your audio where to go. That's what you want to do, is make sure you're working on a copy. You'll save yourself some trouble, and you'll create a better workflow for yourself when you're coming back to tweak mixes. Or if you're going to come back and remix later, you can pull from whichever version of the mix you are liking, okay? Do it. You'll be glad you did. Again, this is Graham at therecordingrevolution.com with 5 minutes to a better mix. We've got one more video left. We'll see you on the next video, guys.